are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Jana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be linked to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She is magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is now.
Greetings and welcome to Access Wealth Nation on the Soul City Broadcasting Network. And I'm Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse, here to give you your checkup from the neck up. You are listening to Access Wealth Nation. And so today we have a real exciting show. So I'm going to get a lot of things out of the way, the mechanics. Of course, also just know, those of you who are listening through WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. We have this exciting event today. Those of you who have any questions for this gentleman, please open up your chats. This is your time to be wowed and know what's getting ready to happen in our new year. So I just want to give you a few heads up. You know, my rule is that if you have a plan, then you definitely do not plan to fail. But if you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. So financially, you know, we always do our resolutions for the new year. Well, how about getting your financial house in order? So my office, Anaj Enterprises, would provide for you with no obligation your free financial analysis. All you got to do is call the office, 646-375-2121, and just mention Access Wealth Nation. And you're definitely welcome to have a no obligation financial strategy. Also, to get your house in order, here's the book, How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. This was written by two of my partners, Tom Matthews and Steve Seabold. So this book is like the elementary finance 101. It is the top book right now in financial literacy, distributing over 600,000 copies this year. This book, you can get it on Amazon, but you can, if you're dealing with a real financial strategy, look at it this way, free 99. All you have to do is send an email to me at anagenterprisesinc@gmail.com, as it's on the screen, and just put a little note. I need to have your address, though. I know everybody thinks everything is done through ebook. It's not. This is a real book. It may take you about an hour to read it. It took me an hour and 10 minutes. I read a little slow, but definitely it is a wonder to get started, to start your financial journey and just teach you some basics, which is not taught in our school system. Unfortunately, only 21 states in the United States make it possible for at the high school level for individuals to be able to have some type of financial literacy. And that's usually balancing a checkbook, which we don't even have checkbooks most of the time. So this is why the country has us sitting in a position of where we are financially illiterate. 66% of the people in America do not understand how money works. They don't understand simple complex compound interest. So I'm excited today. I did all of my duties that I'm supposed to do to keep and also one more thing. Every Thursday, every Thursday at 6 p.m. we have our show, Access Wealth Nation. You shouldn't miss it. I believe next week I'm going to really give you some tips on what's happening with our tax system. I have been in class all day today, and still Congress has not opened up totally and passed all the laws. They've not. They've got bills out there on what's getting ready to happen. Lots to do and lots to be prepared for. So stay tuned as these shows will continue going. That being said, I'm so excited. And today we have a special guest. Every last year he's come on a few times to my Access Wealth Nation because I am definitely the numbers lady. And so there is a numbers man, and the man who wrote the book, Numbers and You. And so with great pleasure, I'd like to introduce my guest for today, and definitely don't hold back on him, is Mr. Lloyd Strayhorn, my brother from another mother.
Hi, Jana. How are you? Thank you for having me
Greetings,
on. It is such
greetings.
a pleasure to be back.
Oh, it is so great to have you, Lloyd. So much is happening in our world. You bring me peace.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because there's so
Great.
much going on and we need to hear. So we're going to, well, first and foremost, I know you've had some special guests on your YouTube, and I know sooner or later you're going to be coming on board with us. So you
That's
can
right.
talk a little bit about what's your goal, because you've been out here for years talking to the celebrities, giving them guidance, and thank God I've been blessed to get guidance. I'm still walking around with my chart. I don't make a move. I gotta go see what Lloyd told me to do. What day is this? Is this a good day to sign a contract? So just tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Well, let me just get the main goal for 2022. My goal for 2022 is to join Soul City Network. That's the goal.
All
Okay.
right, all right.
I am called an astronumerologist, one Jana who deals with both numerology and astrology. Okay. They're both related. It's like which came first, the chicken or the egg. And what happens is numerology came first because if you get an astrology chart done, you must bring to them 5 pieces of information, which is numerical in context. One, you must tell them the month, the day, the year you're born, which is numbers. Then you must tell them the time you're born in numbers, but the location. Now, people would say location, what do you mean? But don't forget the woman, Dr. Gladys West, a black woman who developed the GPS, is developed upon the longitudes and the latitudes of where the stars were in the heaven at the month, the day, the year, and the time and location you were born. Now, once you bring that information, then you're good to go. But they're closely related. One can't do without the other. And so what I've done is I blend both astrology and numerology. So let's say you take a person that's born on the 30th of June, right? So they will say, well, that's a Cancer, true. But astronumerically, this person is a Cancer 3 person because they're born on the 30th day of the month, and 3 plus 0 is 3. Okay. And so each sign and each number rules an element. So this person that I'm giving an example, born on the June the 30th, that means they are a water sign, but with a fire number. Water means intuitions, feelings, hunches, emotions, things like that. And yet she brings fire. That means passion, energy, get up and go. All right. And I also tell a number person, if they tell a 3-person, the worst thing to tell a 3-person is you can't do this and you can't do that. Because, boy, they rub their hands together and y'all better watch out. That's all I'm saying. So each number, each of you, and it's interesting. I do a show now called Live with Lloyd that I'm going to be bringing to Soul City Network. And I try to explain to people that we are all divinely special. If you understand the biological process, that millions and millions and millions of sperm goes after one egg. And you and I and all these people on the planet are the result of that union of that millions of one sperm meeting that one egg. You can't tell me you're not special.
That
So
is so special.
when you look at it like that, you see things from a different perspective.
I got you. That is so true. And it is. It's, when they started with the test tube baby and everybody was talking about, well, this is man creating man. And I said, yeah, maybe that's true, but I don't think so, because that's that part where you put the egg and the sperm, but then you got to mix it and you got to put energy in it. And once you put the energy, I said, okay, that energy, that's God.
Yeah, there's no question. See,
That's
you and
God.
I understand that. That's simple biology. That's simple universal laws that is inescapable. You can't
That's
get
right.
it any way.
That's right.
And there's only about 1 or 2 test tube baby. I think the test tube baby was born on the 22nd of June. I forgot the birthday way back when they started doing this.
You see that? You see that? So, we are leaving, not fast enough for me, 2021. So as we are saying bye-bye, good riddance to 2021, what's the energy taking place as we leave this year?
Well, to wrap this up for 2021, what remains of it, what few weeks remains of it, there is a thing in numerology called the universal year. The universal year for 2021 is a 5. What means is you add those 4 numbers across, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 equals 5. Universal means no matter what part of the human family you come from, what language you speak, what culture, what religious denomination, if you are in this present existence, you are experiencing a 5 personal year. So next year, universal year. So next year is 2022. So that means that those that are under the sign of Libra, those are under the sign of Taurus, those are under the sign of Cancer, they would be my new best friend. Or if they were born on the 6th, the 15th, because 1 plus 5 is 6, or the 24th. But each year brings with it a different flavor. So the 6th universal year coming up in a matter of weeks represents romance and finance. The emphasis is going to be on the home, family. It's going to be on education. A lot of women are going to be changing. I'm willing to bet you, if you talk to most of the women who might chime in today, they will tell you in and around late September, October, when we start feeling the influence of the upcoming year, that a lot of them started changing their hair. I'm going to lengthen it, strengthen it, do something with it. It's also a health cycle. So a lot of people are going to be more conscious about their eating habits, their dietary laws, 6 rules, education. So a lot of people are going to be going back to school, primarily now online courses, which I also offer. So it's a lot of things that are happening. It's moving into a home, moving out of a home, and it's also a pregnancy cycle.
Oh.
And so when I say that, most people think it's a biological pregnancy, but you and I know numbers speak in symbolic terms. Okay, when you look at those accounting numbers, you might say, I think it's going to go this way, or I think it's going to go that way.
It's energy. It's all energy. Yes.
Yeah.
And so in it being that energy, numbers, like I always say, numbers don't lie. People just do.
Yes, they
numbers
do.
will tell you the truth. And so yes, and I love to hear what you're saying. This new year coming, this year leaving was quite an interesting year, and it was again a lot of changes. This was my year. This year I became vegan in January of this year. Been vegan since, and dropped 40 pounds.
Oh yeah, there's a difference of change of diet. There is a direct correlation to diet, and don't forget, Jana, the food now is not the food of our mothers and grandmothers and their mothers,
So
where it
true.
was more organic. Now the things that our parents used to cook in their way, they now call it organic because so many things have been processed. chemicals and this, that, and the other. And this is maybe why people are so sickly, whatever the case is. And so diet almost always when you talk to a person and they made a change of diet, they also made a change in their life. Because it's
That's
expensive to get sick in this country.
and it's interesting. It's interesting. It's getting more expensive though to live the way that we, the clean life. It's
Hmm.
interesting, but in addition to it is that a lot of people are now eating better, exercising more.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
they're doing, and again, being stuck in the house for so many, months. People found out that they're not necessarily even like their own children.
they said divorces was actually up. See, because it's one thing to get in the morning and kiss somebody and say, okay, honey, I'll see you later. And you got the whole day to not be with them. But then you got to be up under the same roof with them morning, noon, night, and in between. It's like, the real
Yes,
stuff begins to come out, unfortunately.
it does. It takes a lot, and this is a time of where I believe that's truly a lot of spirituality is necessary.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
people just need to get to understand that, the God is within them and that
yes,
they have the power and work with that power. It's so sad when we're watching, like you said, there was a lot of divorces, and like you, it's really true. People
yeah,
didn't know. It's one thing if I don't have to spend every day and every hour with you.
all
I
day
just have
long.
I have the opposite feeling about my partner, but I mean, many of people can't spend the time with each other, and then they got to end up, then they come back, they stay, and they don't go outside. Can't go outside. COVID outside, whatever this is, and so in doing so, a lot of friction took place. So
Hmm.
as we see things starting to relax a bit, and truth is coming out, truth will always rise. And in
Yeah, the
doing
truth
so,
cannot be stopped. I
not
don't care how you do it. The truth will always, in the end, prevail. Always.
that's the honest to God truth. So there's definitely a lot that we and just a note to anybody who's listening, if you have any questions or would like to hear from Lloyd where you're going, just chime in. And it says here, if you have any questions, feel free to ask it. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, now I was going to say I wanted to say something that one day I was at Sirius XM Radio
Uh-huh.
and Bishop T.D. Jakes had called in and he had just wrote a book at that time called Destiny. And I explained to him that we all have a destiny. And that destiny is determined from the month, the day, and the year they're born. So anybody who's tuning in, maybe you need to get a pen and paper so you can find out what your destiny is. The destiny means what you're here to learn. When I had Jana Van Zant on the show, she says we all have a contract. When you go to a funeral, the obituary will say sunrise and sunset. You see what I'm saying? We all have a time when we come here and a time when we leave this planet, or a contract as she calls it. Well, that is determined from the month, the day, and the year you're born. And we all serve a purpose. So in this year, 2022, which adds up to a six, six is about love and six is about service. Service to our fellow man, service to humanity, service to the community, service to home and family and things like that. So it's just certain things people are going to have to get together.
So that's what's happening in our 2022. And you always tell us what our government, because it was born on July the 4th.
Which is the major opposition number. The major opposition number to the number 4, which is the United States, the 4th of July, is the number 6. It give a little history. In the
Okay.
1860s, what was it? The Civil War. In
Yes.
the 1960s, what was it? The Civil Rights. On
Yeah.
the 6th of January of this year, remember, there was an attack on the
Insurrection.
White House. Yes, that's exactly right. So what that means is it's not that people have to be in a panic. There are people in enough panic already. Okay. But what I'm saying is that there are numbers that are friendly to each other and there are numbers that are antagonistic. So that means that this country is going to go through a test, not me. See, and it's not your show. Okay. So I don't want people blaming you or blaming me. I'm just saying, look at the numbers in history. So when they talk about Friday the 13th, 1 plus 3 is 4. Well, each day in the week rules a number. So Friday rules 6. So when they talk about Friday the 13th, that's because 1 plus 3 is 4, falling on a Friday. So don't forget John F. Kennedy on um, November the 22nd, 2 plus 2 is 4, was assassinated on a Friday in Dallas, Texas. So 4, 6, and 4s don't work too well with this country. So this country is going to have a lot of growing up to do. It's going to be testing, but I think it's going to turn out for the better. It's like sometimes you got to clean house, you know, to make things a little better. You know, you got to sweep up, you got to mop up and get rid of the debris, and everything will be fine. But no one can escape the 6. No.
Ah, so the sixes is what we're experiencing next year, and change is taking place. I know,
Yes.
and like you said, this government, there's going to be a lot of change. This is a very unusual time. Um, we can't even seem to get things. I was in my class, my tax class, and it was so apparent that we still don't even know what the tax laws are. Here we are in December, and we don't even have our forms ready. Nothing, and that's so unusual. But the country is in a disarray, and it has nothing to do with who's in power, whatever it is. I think it's really the vibrations of these numbers.
Yes, it is. Each number sets off a frequency. You know, when I tell people that numbers have a frequency or vibration, they don't understand because, like, for example, you tune in, people that are tuning into this show now, right?
Yes,
Well, what they don't know is that there's a frequency that goes out over the airways that allow people to watch this show or watch any other TV show or listen to a radio show. Okay. It's just like this virus that's floating around. You can't see it, touch it, feel it, taste it, but it exists. Well, that's the same with numbers. And that's why you can tune into your favorite station where one likes one station, one likes another, but there's this frequency goes out the airwaves. So, for example, if you look at WHCR, you know, that has its own frequency number. If you look at WBLS, that's called 107.5. If you listen to WLIB, that's 1190 on the AM dial or 1010 winds. Notice you can't do without the numbers because it's the numbers that guide us in everything we do. And so you have the most important number. And I think it's interesting. They do not teach anything about wealth and finance. It's almost as if, especially in our communities, we are trained to be consumers. But if you
yes,
take I have an article in my book, a chapter in my book called "The Power of the Penny." That if you take a penny and double it, for the next 30 days, you wind up with literally millions of dollars on the end.
10
And
million.
huh?
10 million.
Yeah, exactly right. And so then we want to know why these little pennies we put in these stores that a year or two from then, they're opening up stores, they're expanding their businesses and whatnot like that. So we need to be conscious of our pennies. I know in one case, I asked my penny back and the man almost got upset with me. That's his problem. Okay. It's
That's
my
right.
penny. And somebody did say every penny counts. So people
It
who
does.
understand that will keep these pennies, and we just walk away. Ah, it's just a penny, it's just a brown penny. You know what I'm saying? But those pennies have more power than people can imagine. So this is one of the things with the numbers game in Harlem, when they would be playing literally for pennies, but it was the volume of the pennies
Mm,
it made the big difference. Okay. And
I
so
got
now you can't play for anything less than 50 cents in the state or dollar, whatever the case is. But even in the street, sometimes you can still play for a nickel or a dime or whatever. So, thank God for the
Well,
streets.
people's homes were built on those pennies.
Yes, they were.
They were
Yes.
built, and
And they,
businesses were built in
and
our
they employed a lot of people. And Casper
community.
Holstein, whose birthday was back on December the 7th, a brother from the Caribbean, was responsible for starting the numbers game in Harlem.
That's it.
And in fact, they have the Holstein building somewhere in Harlem, 138th Street or something like that. It still exists
Okay.
with his name on it.
That's so powerful, definitely. And so someone had a question. I saw a statement the producer sent up. Well, while we're waiting for that, let me ask you a question. I have a question. I have a tendency of waking up every morning at 4:44. My car is the license plate ending in 444. What is this 444?
Well, as a youngster, I grew up in building 444. 444 West 163rd Street in Washington Heights. Well, there is a chapter in my book called Numerology and Thought Reading, that the subconscious mind. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12, which is 3, which is somebody I know is born on a 3, if you think about it. All right. The essence of it means that yes is the answer to the question. So, for example, if I have a client in front of me and they ask me a question I'm not sure, I'll tell them to give me the first numbers, the first set of numbers that come to their mind. If it adds up to an odd number, it means yes is the possibility. If it should add up to an even number, it means no. So in this case, 444 adds up to 12. So if you had, Lloyd, should I do or should I not? Then by those numbers and they're adding up to a 3, it says yes. But it has something to do with the career, because 3 is a career-oriented number. It has something to do with a person's career, their name, their reputation, legal, semi-legal matters. It rules Jupiter, that has dominion over foreigners, foreign countries, foreign languages. And because they're all built upon 4s, 4 is the number of structure and organization.
Got it. Well,
And it also means that people born under the sign of Pisces, Sagittarius, or born on the 3rd, the 12th, the 21st, or the 30th of the month will be significant in their life in some way.
Praise the Lord. And someone said, Lloyd is amazing. Everything he told me, this is from Matt, told me would happen this year actually happened. Let's see what he says here. He's right every time.
Well, see, the numbers are right. It's like you, when you do those numbers come out right when you send it off?
That's it.
That's
in
all
addition to the fact I pray, because I know God is working them numbers. Definitely.
And as you said, numbers don't lie. They don't.
They don't. So Melvina she says she has a potential roommate born 3/23/71. What do you think of her? Okay.
Well, first of all, she is an Aries 5 person. She's born on the 23rd. That's how I got the 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. She's born at the tail end of March, which makes her Aries, because Aries starts on the 21st of March. So she's 4 days into the sign. So she's a fire sign with an air number, which means very proactive, very, taking the initiative. And yet the 5 represents deductions, the reasoning and things of that nature. So what the key is for Melvina is to say, what is her birthday? So this is good. She just said she's a Leo. Well, there's a couple of things. Aries is a fire sign. Leo is a fire sign. This period that we're in right now for Sagittarius is a fire sign.
Oh, Lord.
So in this case, her key numbers, her roommate's key numbers are the 5, 9, and 6. And see, when I say 5, 9, and 6, people think it's time to go out and play the lottery. No, it's not. What I'm saying is that God has given to us signals and by signs and numbers when to do things. So each number rules a day. So 5 rules Wednesday. So out of all 7 days assigned to us in nature, Wednesday is her top best day. Then the second position number is a 9. So that's Tuesday. And the third position number is a 6. That means Friday. So although the calendar would say Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, her cosmic calendar says Wednesday's always first, Tuesday's always second, Friday's always third. So if I wanted to unlock the safe to her heart to come in to get to know her better, and I came to that lock, I'd have to turn that tumbler in a certain numerical order. You can't walk up to a safe and turn the number any way you want to. I mean, you can, but you ain't gonna get in. If I turn the 5 first, the 9, then the 6, then I can open up the door and come in and see what's up. So numbers have order in this universe. And what amazes me is that, fish know when to swim upstream, birds know when to fly to Capistrano, as they say, birds know when to migrate from north to south, and we're made in God's image. And we have no season. That's not true. That's not true at all. But because this seems like we are kept in a state of unknowing or ignorance, that we don't know we have a season too. So I know that from that lady, I know her best days, her best dates, her best months, her best ages, her best years, when all the important changes are likely to take place in her life or anyone else that comes before me. We're all a number.
Well, the thing is also, Lloyd, with all that fire, she got she's fire, the roommate fire, the time spent is fire. Is that's a good or a bad thing? All
Yeah,
that
well,
fire.
it's all good. You know, all of it is good. Like a car can be good to get us one place, and then another car can be used to kind of rob a bank and try to get out of Dodge. So it all depends on how one is using the vehicle. Fire, we know, warms us, and yet when fire's out of control, it will burn thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of land as it does in California. So it all depends. So a person will ask me, well, Lloyd, how do you know if a number's good or bad? Simple to me, by their actions. If a person is blocking somebody's blessings, if a person is interfering or bringing mayhem or some drama into the life, obviously that person is demonstrating the negative side of that number. So actions speak louder than words, or as the elders used to say, you can show me better than tell me.
That's true. She wanted to know would they get along.
Yes, I just didn't know her birthday. I
Oh
mean,
no,
she said she's a Leo, but what is she, a July Leo or is
now
she a August Leo?
she's
Because
an
that's
August Leo. I know for a fact she's in August. Now I got to remember. She's gonna kill me. I forgot the date.
no, she'll put it up there. She'll put
I
it up there.
think it's
Believe
the
me.
18th. But
But let's say it is the 18th. She's a fire sign with a fire number, which means Melvina ain't taking no stuff from nobody up in there.
oh,
Okay.
she definitely doesn't.
Mm-mm. Yes, she's
Okay,
an 18th. And you know what that tells me too? Romantically, she's always attracted men in uniform: police, military, construction, machinists. If she's having a bad hair day, I tell her all she got to do is walk by a construction site. She'll get a lot of attention.
that is awesome. That's awesome. Well, Melvita, I hope you got a general idea. Don't you want anybody else you want to check out while there's some time? Because our folks come on a little late, and then next thing you know, they're gonna bombard. You got a little free time. She started laughing.
But until they do, I like to explain what happens. If a
Okay.
person gets a pen and paper and put the month they're born, the day they're born, and the year they are born, she said he's a veteran. See, military. That's what Melvina says, okay? You can tell when I call these destiny numbers, it's like, for a better way, that it tells what grade they are in the school of life. So if a person's birth, month, day, and year of birth adds up to a number 1, they are in the first grade in the school of life. It is a cycle or destiny where they got to learn the lessons of leadership, responsibilities, being proactive, taking the initiative, and people who have a 1 destiny that have been in codependent relationships, if they haven't learned the lessons of independence, circumstances will force them at some point to stand on their own. People with 1 destinies will be influenced by those in Leo or Aquarius, or people born on the 1st, the 10th, the 19th, or the 28th of the month. People who have a 1 destiny normally will tend toward things connected with the eyes, high blood pressure, heart palpitations, the lower back, things of that nature. If a person's destiny number, when they add their month, day, and year, is a 2, that means they're here to learn the lessons of teamwork, cooperation, getting along with people, bringing parties together. 2s make excellent negotiators. People with 2 destinies tend to be very finicky and fussy about their eating habits, their dietary laws. They tend to be really very detailed with things. 2 rules a sign of Cancer. They will attract cancers and the minor way Tauruses in their life, or anybody born on the 2nd, the 11th, the 20th, or the 29th of the month. Now, let's say somebody's destiny number, when they take their month, their day, and their year, is a 3. That means symbolically they're in the 3rd grade in the school of life. So that means in this destiny, from the time we get here to the time we leave, they're here to learn the lessons of being creative, being imaginative, being expressive, being to uplift people's spirits and things of that nature. 3s are very, very determined. It is ruled by Jupiter, the good luck planet that denotes good luck, prosperity, things of that nature. 3s are also gifted with children. The people that are likely to be of influence in them during the course of life will be those under the signs of Sagittarius and Pisces, or anybody born on the 3rd, the 4th, the 3rd, the 12th, because 1 + 2 is 3, the 21st, 2 + 1 is 3, or the 30th, for people that says, how did he get those dates? Okay. Then let's say you got somebody whose month, day, and year adds up to a 4. That means they're in the 4th grade in the school of life. 4 is always called the foundation number. It is a number that anytime you build a building, you lay to this building a cornerstone. And once the cornerstone is laid to any structure, you can build the building as high as you want or any style you want. So 4 represents things like being organized, being structured, having a plan. 3, 4 is also the number of secret enemies because 4s normally are very visionary. They tend to attract people who don't quite understand in the moment what they're doing until they go down the road. And so I call them secret enemies, 4 secret enemies, because people are either jealous of them, envious of them, or insecure with them. And a person with a 4 destiny, their attitude is, listen, I'm just trying to show some love up here. I don't know why they're hating on me, whatever. But 4s are futuristic, and they're the geniuses. They tend to attract those under the signs of Aquarius, Leo, and Gemini. All people born on the 4th to 13th. 1 plus 3 is 4. The 22nd, 2 plus 2 is 4, or the 31st. People who have a 5 destiny, that is when they add their month, their day, and their year of birth, they represent change. And so in their life's experience, change tends to occur every about 4.5 to 5 years in relationships, in location, in jobs, or other situations like that. I tell people who are in the 5th grade or dealing with people with a 5 destiny, the best way to hold on to them is to let them go, because 5 is ruled by air. So air isn't just in this corner of my house or in that corner of your office. Air is everywhere we go. And 5 represents people who are very multifaceted, multi-talented, multi-dimensional. 5 destiny people will tend to do well attracting those under the signs of Gemini and Virgo, or people born on the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd of any month. So let's say you got a person when they add their month, their day, their year, and it adds up to a 6. That means symbolically they are in the 6th grade in the school of life. And 6 is about service, service to humanity, service to community. 6s tend to do well with the 6th destiny in areas connected with the arts, in business like real estate, banking, law, government, or they tend to do well in service, teachers, professors, nurses, life coaches, personal trainers, social workers, things like that. But their role is about service to humanity. And people with a 6th destiny will find that Tauruses and Libras will cross their path often, as well as people born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th of any month. Now, let's say somebody has a number 7 as their destiny number when they add their month, their day, their year. That means they are symbolically in the 7th grade in the school of life. People with a 7 destiny are here to learn. 7 always rules knowledge and wisdom and investigation and research. So they are always probing. These are the ones that always ask a ton of questions. So if you have a child with a 7 destiny and you say, well, honey, God made the world, that 7 destiny child gonna say, well, who made God? Okay, we say, okay, we gotta do some more research on this. So 7s go down the rabbit hole. They love to investigate. They love to read. People with 7 destinies can be very sarcastic, like Stray. You need to take a long walk off a short bridge and keep walking. Okay, and you're trying to tell me something. Okay, 7s like to be their own best company, but they attract to them those under the signs of Cancer and Pisces, or anybody born on the 7th, the 16th. 1 plus 6 is 7, or the 25th of the month, because 2 plus 5 is 7. Now, let's say somebody has a 8 when they take their month, their day, their year. That means they're in the 8th grade in the school of life. Now, 8 is ruled by Saturn, which is the planet of fate or destiny. So a person with an 8 destiny, they may be married to somebody, but that wasn't the person they had planned to marry. But as fate or destiny happens, they wind up marrying that person. You see what I'm saying? So it's not that people in an 8 destiny don't have control over their lives, but that sometimes fate will come in and take a hand in their life too. People with 8 destiny is about business. Those are your executives, your managers. They do well in real estate. They do well in banking. They do well in law. They are your CEOs, CFOs, heads of businesses, governments, and whatnot. One of the famous financiers that was an 8 was J.P. Morgan, born on the 17th of the month. And in that time during the 1900s, early 1900s, when they found out he was using astrology and approached them, and they asked him, does astrology make millionaires? He says, no, it makes billionaires. Okay. So he knew. And in fact, what's interesting, he had an astrologer on his staff. So to this day, although he passed away in April, no, he passed away on March the 31st of 1913, JP Morgan still exists. Charles
Wow.
Schwab also had an astrologer on his staff. Charles Schwab's name still exists.
Goes on forever,
So I
infinitum.
don't care what nobody says. These people use astrology, these movers and shakers, okay? And the person that they used was Evangeline Adams, who was also born on the number 8 herself. She was an Aquarius, born on February the 8th. I mean, there's so much to that. Anyway, so 8 people tend to attract to them Capricorns, Aquarians, and Librans, and people born on the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th of the month. Finally, there's people, if you add your month, your day, your year, and it adds to a 9, people with 9 destinies normally think they're the greatest thing since ice cream, okay? Can't tell them squat, all right? They be feeling themselves. Lloyd, what, that brother don't know nothing about me. They don't care. 9s are universal. People with 9 destinies like to be the master of their fate, the captain of their ship. They're global, universal, international. They love to determine their own destiny, thank you. They do not take orders well. But yet they bring out the humanitarian side of things. They're known to exhibit strong will, grit, and determination, and they've always have a fighting spirit. People with a 9 destiny will normally attract during their destinies people under the signs of Aries and Scorpio, in a minor way Leo, or people who are born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th of the month. Now, if nobody's in those grades from 1 to 9, I'd like to know how you got here, because the numbers only go from 1 to 9. So
1 to 9, and then it starts to add together, right?
Yes. And they'll say, well, what about 10? Well, 1 plus 0 is 1. What about 11? 1 plus 1 is 2, and so on. So the numbers just repeat themselves from 1 to 9, except they move in higher octaves.
So when you're adding your date of birth, so when you get to the year is a lot of numbers. You add all those numbers together too?
Yes. You don't add just the last 2 numbers. You take the month. So let's say you got somebody, we'll take the first example, June the 30th. So 6 is at the top, 30 is underneath, and then whatever the year is, the
1958.
Right, that goes under that. So that means you were born in the year of the 5. And it means that since that's July, August, September. So that means there was a high probability one of your parents could have either been a, shall we say, a Gemini, Aquarius, or Virgo, or born on the 4th, the 5th, the 13th, the 14th, the 22nd, 23rd, or 31st of any month, because of the year you were born.
My daddy was the 23rd of
of
April.
And I didn't even know that. But so see how it goes? I mean, it's just amazing. So
and my mom was the 21st, so it's like,
Yeah. So therefore, my dear, you are in the 5th grade in the school of life. Now, 5 rules: finance, business, finance, import, the stock exchange, the literary field, the travel industry, import, export. You know what I'm saying? So you're fulfilling your destiny. Where
I'm here, definitely. Matt says, I'm about to open a new addition to my business. Don't want to say just don't want to say what just yet, but should I open my new business in February or April of next year? Because Matt is April 20th.
20th, yes. Well, I would have him open his business just past his birthday, because just before he approaches his birthday, 51 days before he approaches April the 20th, is called the critical cycle. It's a Rosicrucian cycle that goes from birthday to birthday. It's broken into 7 divisions. Each division lasts a period of 52 days each. So on the day of his birthday, April the 20th, he then starts the birthday to birthday cycle again. So that first 52 days starting on April the 20th is called his reputation cycle, which means whatever he wants, he is likely to get. The fact that Mercury, the first Mercury retrograde, and we'll talk about that in a minute, will go from January the 14th to February the 3rd, and then there's a shadow effect. I would not have him do anything or anyone sign papers or documents, not unless something has been in the works for the longest. But if it's coming down the home stretch, still double check. The lawyers say you still got to read the fine print. When I used to sell life insurance, they said the large words addeth and the small words take it away. So you got to be very, very careful. But other than that, I would have him wait until after his birthday, when he is in one of his strongest cycles called his reputation cycle.
Okay, I got that. All right. Okay, here's LaQuantum. He says his birth date is 5/25, 1974. People born on this day are.
First of all, he's born the same day as Miles Davis, and a couple other famous people of note. But he is a air sign with a water number. Now, what does that mean? And I'm glad he asked. It tells me, first of all, from his birthday that he walked before he was 1 year old. It also tells me from his birthday that if I was to go into his home, I would be pleasantly surprised at the number of books or magazines or things like that. In other words, I wouldn't go in his home and there are four white walls with just a TV up in there. No, this man, first of all, he's under Gemini, which is the sign of communications, and then he's under the number seven. And sevens go hard. Seven rules knowledge. Seven rules nature. They always like to get to the bottom of something. It's one thing to do something, but for seven, they want to know why did you do what you did. Okay, so you can't play with sevens like that. So it tells me he's very sophisticated. He's open yet very private. And then when I looked at his destiny number, because he's born in the year of the 1974. Yep, that's a 3 8, 3 8. He's in the sixth grade in the School of Life.
Mm,
So I told you, six has they follow three areas. One is in the arts. And it looks like from that picture he's singing. Then the others in the world of business, real estate, banking. So more than likely he will own a home. Six numbers and eight numbers like to own home, but six and eight are earth numbers. So therefore they prefer to live in homes rather than in a building. Some live in a building. That's not to say all six and eight live in a home, but if given a choice, they would prefer to live in a home where they can walk around all four sides. So this person is a perfectionist. He prefers to be his own best company. He's very analytical, fiercely independent, strongly marked individuality, and quick in thought, quick in action. Will also make an excellent writer, researcher, or investigator, as well as do well in the arts itself.
yeah, he is a writer for sure. Um, this is a question I have. Oh, well, I see Melvina asking, what's going on with this full moon? What's happening with the full moon?
Well, the full moon means when the sun and the moon are in opposite signs. So, for example, in astrology, signs are six signs apart. So, you ever heard that phrase, opposite attracts?
Yes.
Well, they do to a degree, and I say they're opposite attracts in the sense there are things they love about each other, but then there are things they can't stand about each other. See, that's the part they don't mention, okay? But what it simply means, right now we're in the sign of Gemini, excuse me, Sagittarius, and as of this afternoon at 3:42 this afternoon, the moon went into the sign of Gemini. So tomorrow, they are going to be polar opposites. That's when you can see the sun up in the heavens, all bright and whatnot. When the sun and the moon are in the same sign at the same time, you can't see it. That's dark. So they will tell you in the military, anytime they're going to attack a nation, they're always attacking the new moon,
Mm,
where no, you can't see anything. But if now, since tomorrow will officially be the full moon, if you go outside, you can see the moon shining all bright and stuff like that. So
okay.
that's what that's about.
Lots of energy at that point. I'm,
Yes, yes.
okay. Matt's asking, what's the best mate for me?
Well, what I would do is I would look at his numbers. And born on the 20th, his key numbers are the 2, the 7, and the 6. Now, what does that mean? See, once I get the numbers, I can set things up. And it
Mm-hmm.
tells me that his best months would always be around March, May, July, and October. So therefore, anybody born late February into March, late April into May, past his birthday, late June into July, which is your birthday, or late September into October, they tend to do best for him. Not only just mates, but coworkers, family members, things of that nature. They would always tend to do better, you
Well,
know.
that's a good thing that he has his marketing person, Jasmine. She's a July the
Yes,
15th, and you can't get better than his sister.
and yeah, yeah, and you're a Cancer. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? So he's in good company. So just as he's picked his working associates in that month, that's how he picks his mates too. See, the months represent the physical attraction that we have with each other. That's why you can meet a person for the first time and feel as if you've known them, or another person and they ain't say nothing to you, but you just ain't feeling them. You know how you get that feeling?
Yeah, I'm
Judge you.
feeling or I'm not feeling.
But it is the date of birth that represents the mental connections that we have. Okay. So, for example, I would tell him to get somebody born. Let's say we take somebody in May. Well, if they're May the 2nd, or the 6th, or the 7th, or May the 11th, the 15th, or the 16th, it tells me not only would he feel comfortable with them physically, but mentally there's a connection. So as I tell a woman, so what happens when you're having a bad hair day? Because all you women are going to have a bad hair day. Honey, can we still communicate up in here? Okay? So
I
that's how
got
it
it.
works.
So you were mentioning before about retrograde, and we were talking. I know that when things just don't seem to be
Yeah.
working the same, and then somebody will come along and say, "Can you check to see if Mercury's in retrograde or
Mm-hmm.
is who's in retrograde right now?" So are we going? Please tell me we're not. Are we going back into retrograde?
Yes, 14 days into the new year it starts. Now, for those who don't understand, Mercury, it rules the planet of Gemini, and Gemini rules the planet of communications, motion, and movement. Okay. Now, for people who don't live in a city like we do, to give an example, there's a normal rate of speed that all the planets move in, but when it's retrograde, it simply slows down. So let's say a person is on the express in the tunnel going alongside the local, and they're going at the same rate of speed. However, when that local is coming into the station, it slows down. So it gives the impression that the train is moving backwards. It's not moving backwards, it's just slowing down to pick up the passengers. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And so what it means is when Mercury's retrograde, it means miscommunications, missteps, miscalculations. I thought you said this. No, I thought you said that. People get into arguments over the silliest things, which is why it rules contractual matters. It rules anything like electronics, computers, cars, gadgets, things like that. People will write the most wonderful draft to a story or play. They press one button and they go to computer heaven. Mercury's retrograde. Okay. So, but the one advantage of it is if you've lost something around the house or lost it, can't find it, when Mercury's retrograde, you can. Normally, the retrograde lasts 21 days. Normally, it's 3 times a year. This particular year, 2022, it's occurring 4 times a year. Okay.
Wow.
And the first one is on January the 14th through February the 3rd. The next one is on May the 10th, lasting through June the 3rd. Then the next one is September the 9th, lasting through October the 2nd. And the last one is December 29th of this year, lasting into January the 18th of 2023. So when these retrogrades are, be careful. You can't assume. It's the worst time to assume. Let's say Matt met somebody, a great business person, it's a great contact, and the last 4 numbers of that person's numbers is 0716. He might hear 0716, but write 0761. Mercury retrograde. So when it's come time to call that contact and he can't figure out why he can't get through, it's little things like that.
So you have to be, it's not so much like when I first heard this that this is you do nothing on those days. It's just that you
No.
be a little careful.
Yeah, you pay
be
attention.
more-
That's all.
And pay attention to what's
Yes.
going on. And
Yes.
take your time. I'm assuming take your time. Okay. Say the December date again, please. I guess that was for Mercury in retrograde.
Well, Mercury, the last Mercury retrograde done passed already because this one are all in Earth signs, but the full moon is taking place tomorrow.
No, I think for next year, Lloyd, it was December the 20th.
That will be December the 29th through January the 18th. This year, they're all in a sign. Last year, I think they were all in fire signs. This year, they're all in Earth signs. They're all taking place in Capricorn, in Taurus, in Virgo, and in Capricorn again. All right. So Earth represents things that are practical, foundational, and stuff like that. So they just have to be a little bit more mindful. That's all.
Understood. And Melvina's seeing a guy that's February the 14th.
Well, here's the thing. Malvina is a fire sign with a fire number. This person is an air sign with an air number. So the elements that go together are fire and air. For example, they will tell you if you're in a room and fire breaks out, what don't you do? You don't open them doors and you don't open those windows because fire air makes for combustion. So this would be a kind of relationship that brings about a combustion, a stimulating kind of thing. They will also be considered oppositional signs, like she talked about the full moon, because the opposition sign to Leo is Aquarius, and the opposition sign to Aquarius, his sign, is Leo, her sign. Okay. And what makes it so interesting, the first person to land on the moon on June the 20th of 1969 was a Leo, Neil Armstrong, and the
Mm-hmm.
second person was an Aquarius, Buzz Aldrin. And what's interesting, Buzz Aldrin's mother's maiden name was Moon,
Oh, get out of
Moon.
here, really?
He was the first guy to pee in space on the moon.
Yes, yes. Wow, that's powerful.
Mhm.
Definitely. I mean, there's so much. We're just going to just make announcement that we're leaving WHCR 90.3 FM, and ta-ta to those listeners. And we're going to go through a little more with this wonderful information in, okay, let's see what we got here is, okay, the male fits this. Is this grip? I'm not.
I thought it was. I have no idea what that
What's a
might
grimmer
be.
fly would be? What's a grimmer fly? Okay, type us the quantum, help us out here a little bit, and saying that we're looking for the, like you said, next year is one of those with relationships,
Yes.
and so I think I found my perfect mate. He's what's his birthday? Is 5/23. And so
He is an air sign with an air number. See, you have a fire number. He has an air number. So these are numbers that stimulate each other. Fives and threes are similar up to a point. They're very personable. They're very friendly, except five rules the nerves and three rules emotional upsets. So when you're having a bad day at the same time, it'd be interesting to be a fly on the wall to see how that goes. Because
yeah,
every couple has their moments of disagreement.
oh,
Only in
without a
the
doubt.
fairy tale that they live happily ever after. That's why it's in the fairy tale books, not in real life.
Well, that's one of the things that I say about him. He's one of those great guys. He's also lived a long life, and he's turning 80 next year. And I just
Wow.
admire, but he don't look 80. But anyway, it's
No, I'd have lost my money on that. No, I'd have definitely lost my money.
but he
But
has a
Gemini is a
philosophy.
beautiful sign.
Yeah, he has a philosophy that says UNA, understanding and acceptance. Either you're going to understand and accept. That's it. So it works well with me. Okay, so we were talking about what's it?
You
Oh,
said a Gemini.
he calls himself a Gemifly instead of a Gemini, I guess. Okay.
Well,
Uh,
because they're Aries, see Aries, so you keep it moving. So maybe he refers to it. So he
he's
being an
asking
air
for
sign,
the
yes,
perfect mate.
he being an air sign with an air number, he would attract all the air planets first, which is Libra, air, Aquarius, air. The next set, if he couldn't attract air mate, would be fire, because air and fire goes together, which would be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. But in the case of Leo and Sagittarius, they would be totally oppositional signs. So, for example, Barack Obama's mother was a Sagittarius, and Barack Obama's father was a Gemini. So they were in opposition. So they were attracted to each other initially, but that's why I said opposite attracts. But then there'd be things that they kind of work each other's nerves. So that's how it goes.
I got it. So I hope it helps you a little bit out there. Those of you who may have some extra questions or ideas, I'm so happy you told us about retrograde, because I've got a lot on the table this year coming, more than what I can possibly think of.
Yeah.
I mean, I got things coming at me like, talking, tours, speaking, business, and my two businesses. And so it's like,
But see, especially for business owners, like for example, you might put I'd say, listen, Yana, I'm going to put a check in the mail. You should get it in 2 days. When Mercury's retrograde, it may take a week and a half to 2 weeks before you get it. Little things like that. So it doesn't mean being in a panic, but it means taking advantage of knowing how the forces of nature works, so you can just adjust accordingly. Don't assume. Don't,
I,
you know what I mean? You know how people say, well, you know what I mean? No, I don't know what you
No, I
mean.
don't.
Right
Tell
now.
me.
Not right now. Let's say
Tell
you
me.
got a very important appointment where from point A, your home, to point B, the appointment tops 30 minutes. When Mercury's retrograde, you should add on other 10 or 15 minutes just in case. There's a delay, a sick passenger, something that might throw it off, because then you start working up a sweat or anxiety because you're running late. Of course, it's the most important appointment of your life. That's how it goes when Mercury's retrograde. So it's those kind of things that make you understand there's nothing that you can avoid as long as you live in. Every year you were born, there's been a Mercury retrograde, but it's understanding when it occurs, what to do and what not to do.
Got it. Got it. Definitely. So as we're looking forward to, I think we don't have any. It's interesting today. It's one of those days today. But I'm very thankful for our guest who stood up and asked questions, because I had folks. Jana B, you are glowing. Thank you very much, sister. I love being your sister queen. I love you much. That's my brother LaQuantum. uh,
Mm-hmm.
and very appreciative to those that are out here. My world is changing, I gotta say. And so, when you said about those threes and change, I'm one of those. I want to keep everything the same, but it constantly, like you said, keeps changing. And
The only
I'm
thing that's constant is change.
That's it.
Because
That's
when you
true.
were born, you were a cute old little baby. Now you're a gorgeous woman. See what I'm saying?
Oh,
It changed.
thank you so much. Definitely. So I think that I know that, well, one thing's for sure, we have birth businesses, and my brother and I, Matt, we're going to new levels, and I'm glad you said that having the cancer in his life is a good thing, because I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
living.
yeah,
I'm looking forward, Lloyd, to you coming on board to Soul City,
yeah,
because
yeah,
people
yeah,
need you.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
need you desperately. We need to hear. We are a spiritual people, and it's not about all physical, it's about the spirituality, and numbers are spirit, and money is currency. So, therefore,
And that's
it's
an
all.
energy too. People don't realize money is an energy.
Oh, yeah, I got a piece right in my book about our relationship to money and currency. And after I heard today in the tax session, I was like, oh, are they coming for all of these currencies, the cryptocurrencies, the virtual currencies? IRS not sitting back. So, oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Oh, Melvina's calling for an appointment for you, Lloyd.
All right, Leos. Leos are my favorites.
So she'll be coming. So if no one else has any more things, I kept us open a little longer because
Now
I
I
know
want
we
to
hope.
correct something. I do have numbersinyou.com, but that's not the online site. It should be Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. I have a free monthly newsletter. So if they go to Lloyd-Strayhorn.com, that's LLOYD-Strayhorn, STRAYHORN.com. As soon as they get to the landing page, scroll down and sign up for the free monthly newsletter. I also have my online course, Learn from Lloyd How to Read a Person Like a Book, and Learn from Lloyd The Next Step in Numerology. And you can get both those courses right now. They're on sale today and tomorrow, but you must go through my website to take advantage of the discount. And both of them is less than the cost of lunch for two.
Excellent, excellent. And that then you learn some of the things you know how to
Yes.
do.
Yeah, and it's to go at your own pace. When you finish the course, you get a certification saying that you finished the course. And right
Ex-
now, I have over 2,800 students in 71 countries, and my course is translated into 21 languages, which shows the universality of numbers, no matter where you
Well, you
go.
see, Melvina just said joining now. I think I'm gonna be right behind you, Melvina, because the thing is that when numbers in you, like I told you, my mom brought that book years and years to me,
Yeah,
and it helped me deal with my clients on Wall Street. Knowing their date of birth, I had a good idea of how I was going to approach them and what to say. Because certain people, you have to come a certain way.
way. Exactly,
Mm.
exactly.
And so that's awesome. So I implore everybody to get on board. Okay, is 2022 a good time to expand my business. Is that year a
Yes,
good year?
you can in this case. And let me say this. Remember when I took the destiny number, which is taking the month, the day, and the year you were born? Well, if you take the personal year, what you do is instead of taking the month, the day, and the year you're born, you take the month, the day you were born, and add to it the year in which you are interested in. What
Ah,
year, what personal year was it when you got married? What personal year was it when you opened up the business? Whatever year you can remember in the past, the present, or the future, all you got to do is just take the month and day, June the 30th, and add it to that particular year in question. Then we'll tell you the personal year. So when I took April the 20th to 2022, that means he will be going through a 5 personal year, which is change, 5 rules: business, science, commerce, communications, import, export, the stock exchange, the travel industry, the literary field. So if 5, since 5 rules communications, and Soul City Network is definitely about communication, that means he's going to do well. 5 is about advertising, sales, things of that nature, increase in travel. And 5 is also the opportunity cycle too. So a lot of opportunities going to be coming his way. And not
excellent.
only that, but his numbers again are the 2, the 7, and the 6. Well, next year is the 6. The following year is a 7. So I would hitch my wagon to his star for the next 2 years. So when he says, "Are you going to do the show?" Yes, Matt, I will see you. Okay. You got to tell me twice.
Yes, definitely. I was like, look, I had so many people reach out to me. I said, Lord, just make sure that Lloyd can get on. And some people are shy, and I understand that but that's fine. Oh, look, Matt's going, yay. Me
Yeah,
too.
I
I
will
go
do yay
yay.
too.
I go yay too. So definitely, Lloyd, I want to thank you so much for
Thank
your
you so
time
much.
and
Thank
energy.
you. Thank you.
I know I'm going to see you soon. I know you're
Yes,
very
face
busy
to
right now.
face. Face to
But
face.
we got time. Pick that numbers that we got that date
Yeah.
that we're going to meet, and I promise you, I'll make it happen.
And I look forward to joining the Soul City family. It's going to be
Excellent.
fun.
We got it now. We
All
got it.
right. All
It's
right.
on my show. We didn't set it. So
That's
Lord,
right.
you have a blessed night. Be blessed. Thank you again. This was
Thank you, Jana. Love
wonderful.
you much.
Love you so much. And you all have a good night. Thank you for listening to Access Wealth Nation. Be blessed.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be linked to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She was magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is magic.